All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about Jacksonville, Florida. Now, Jacksonville, Florida has a pretty stagnant skyline. There has really not been much built in the city in the last few decades. It really hasn't had a lot of growth, especially when you compare it to other cities in Florida. Like when you compare this to Miami or Tampa, there really has not been much skyline growth. But that might be starting to change. We have a few proposed buildings here in Jacksonville, including the tallest building in Jacksonville if it is completed. That is the one that you currently see on your screen right here. This would be a 720-foot tower, which would be the tallest in Jacksonville and the state of Florida outside of Miami, I do believe as well. This building doesn't currently have a name, but it would be between the Jacksonville Landing and Hyatt Regency, Jacksonville. So this would be where that is located here. It is currently proposed. This is actually was proposed very recently, back in July. So that's why this hasn't been approved or anything yet. So this is a relatively new planned skyscraper here for the Jacksonville area. There is another one we'll talk about here in a minute as well. But yeah, this would be 720 feet, the tallest in Jacksonville, overtaking the Bank of America Tower, which is 617 feet, so by a over 100-foot margin, which is very nice. I believe this tower will be mainly residential. That is the plan so far. Again, this thing just came out, so there's not a ton of information about it, and is still currently proposed. But yeah, this is some good news for the Jacksonville skyline, as it again has been extremely stagnant, and there really hasn't been much going on there. Pretty short skyline as well, only 617 feet tall is the current tallest building there. But yeah, of course, this would change that all. Tallest building would vastly improve the skyline. So you can see the renderings here. They're not the highest quality, but that's all right. We can kind of see where it's located here. I mean, you can tell there is a lot of area in the Jacksonville downtown that is just like empty lots or parking spaces or very low-rise buildings. So there's a lot of room for development here. So it could be actually pretty interesting to see if we get a development spur going on in Jacksonville. The transformation that could happen there could be pretty crazy. So there you can see how it is. Impact on the skyline. Nice spot right on the river there next to a bridge, right in the downtown area. Pretty solid looking design as well, if I do say so. All right, so we can move on now to the second building, which this building is a 44-story building. I can't find the height for some reason, but this building is currently proposed and could be constructed by 2027 is the news. This is the Jacksonville Landing. So this is actually right next to the other building. I believe this is literally just on the other side of the bridge. If that's what I can tell from these renderings, it's just right on the other side of the bridge. So that would actually be pretty cool to see two buildings going up right there. I mean, that would definitely improve the downtown area a lot right there. And this building just went through a deal a couple years ago or so that got it kind of on schedule. So I think this has still not really had much news recently, but this is a 44-story luxury building planned for the Jacksonville area, which still I think needs to be approved if I'm not mistaken. But if the other one goes through, wouldn't surprise me if this goes through as well. This is a condo building as well. A lot of residential, obviously, buildings are what are being constructed in Florida in general, and especially here in the Jacksonville area, as we can tell. But yeah, this is a pretty cool design as well, if I do say so. It matches pretty good with the Wells Fargo building. So I think they did a really good job there with kind of blending in with the previous design of buildings there, kind of the style of the city, kind of that cool, curved, outstretched base right there, kind of like a pyramid almost, but they make it obviously much more modern and it looks very good. But yeah, so that is everything that we have right now, news for those buildings in the Jacksonville area. If these get constructed, that would be a pretty big deal for the Jackson skyline. Absolutely redefining the skyline, tallest building in the city, another very tall building for Jacksonville standards, going up 44 stories. That would improve the skyline drastically. Let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments, and I'll